Okay, the next thing we're going to do here is create a support for the seat. This seat we can go ahead and download from Teams. Let me pull it over here. So if you go into the Baja SAE shared folders and look in inventor files right here, you'll see the seat is located here. I pulled it up here so I can take a cross section of it, make some measurements, and then make my seat support, which is going to look something like this, some kind of tubing underneath it. But let's imagine it being mounted on those two bottom and then having the J shape like underneath it. So to begin that process, what we can need to do is take a right view of this one and look at a cross section so we can see all the way through here. Because there's some hidden pieces right up in here, as you can see. So let's see here. We can go, well, it looks like, oh yeah, it looks like we can actually see part of it. But if we go to view, half section, and then go under origin, and then I think it's this first one, and click OK, you can see that that's actually, let's see if I can get it over there. Yeah, that's cutting it right in half. So go like this, then take a look at the right view. And so we need something to go along this curve here. Fortunately, it looks like somebody has already done that here with sketch number 3. Yeah. So we will just take some measurements off of this. I don't think we can take it all because there's some discontinuities in there. Let's start with the flat bottom piece right here and see how big it is. It's probably already fully defined. So it's just going to say, you know, show me the calculated value. That's why it's in parentheses. So it's going to be 3.87 inches. We need to make a new file. So file new. And this. Let's start at the origin to keep things easy. 3.87 inches. And I'm not sure why it didn't let me make that horizontal, but you know how to make it horizontal after the fact. Just go just like this. This is going to be the seat support. So we're going to say save as, and save it as, instead of just seat, we'll call it seat support. Looks like I've already started on one before. So this will just be a different version of that. So I'll just say V2. Version 2. All right, going back to the right-hand side view, that doesn't look right. Can we zoom in on that? What happened? Maybe go up here to the top. Oh, it's front I need to look at. I got it. Okay. So there's our first leg. And now we just need to edit that sketch and start working on it. So we're going to say edit sketch. And we're going to pull this off to the side like that. And we will select the other one, maybe. Maybe I can get another version of Inventor going. And have that over to the side so I can make measurements on one diagram and then put it over here. So let me remove the nose car from that one. That was my test. So we won't save that one. We'll put this one on the second half of the screen. Come on. Don't let me drag it just yet. There it is. Okay, and what we were looking for seat measurements, I think. Yes, okay. So we will close this out here without saving it. And that's an old version, so we will not save that one. Okay. Don't save that one because, oh yeah, I guess I should have. But that's okay. We just need to get these measurements. Can we collapse that? Oh, I was going to collapse it this way. Let's get these measurements again. Remember, you want to go to view and then looks like it's hidden half section view like this. And we'll select the origin XY plane, cuts it in half, green check mark, and go over here to sketch number 2, edit that sketch. It's going to face it. We already have one dimension. The dimension we have is this one right here. Escape. We don't want to click on the middle. This should be 3.87. Already defined, so this is going to be over defining. Remember, we want the diagonal here, so make sure you click like that and pull it out this way. Nope, not quite. That's it. Right there. So this needs to be 5.75. Let's get the other ones while we're here. I don't think we need a tube there. I'm going to hit escape. We're going to put a round bar in that area instead. Okay, so let's see. Going up and to the left, a distance of 5.75. And for some reason, it didn't want to start where I wanted to. So we will just say 5.75. And another 6 point. Give it a little rotation here. 6.471. More digits than we really need. We'll just say 6.47. And I'm not sure why it came back that direction. Not sure what I'm doing there that causes that. Looks like it's trying to put a midpoint on there for me. So 6.47. And we'll get those angles in just a moment. Going back this other direction, I need 2 more segments. So I can sketch those in like this and like that. That's going to represent our backboard, our back support. I'm going to hold everything up. Measuring the dimensions, I guess really from here to there would be better. A better approximation, or even there. And we're going to do this diagonal. And we'll do this one. We want to keep working until all these purple lines are white so that they're fully defined. Let's go ahead and make that a 9, just round it up. Nope, that wasn't me. That's okay. 18.41. Okay, so you see that we got the links in there, but we got to get all these angles in. All right, so the first angle we might want to get is the angle between like this one and that one. And it's trying to give me a distance, so I think I hit the midpoint by accident. So this line, that line. And we're looking at 26. See, it's trying to do the same thing there, huh? Got to be careful about that midpoint. I wasn't so careful with that. And 26.57. You see it's now defined or constrained. The other one actually is the angle between our back support and here, I think. No, it's actually all the way over here. So let's just, let's see, what should we do? Let's measure the distance between this one and the horizontal. And that was going to be, looks like 66 exactly. here, and the horizontal, here, horizontal. Look at that being fully defined. So it looks like the place that's actually going to be down, though, on the ground, or at least horizontal, would be this one. So is that right? Yeah, unfortunately, the seat's going to be rotated that way. That's all right. We'll just have to accommodate that. Be nice to be able to rotate the entire diagram. Now that we see this right here is really going to be the horizontal part. We'll see if we can come up with a solution for that in just a moment. All right, so now measuring back on this other way, angle between here and here, 17.82. This is really where we're going to sit, not here. This is more uh, going upward like that. Yeah. See how this is tilted right here? It should really be this way. Here's the bottom of the seat. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Then right here, back to the horizontal for this one. And that one's 30 degrees. So I'm doing it always with respect to the horizontal. That, and you can see this one's fully constrained. But really I need to have it rotated so that this is horizontal. If I try to make it horizontal now, it's not going to let me do that because it's already fully constrained. That's because one of these is already horizontal, and to figure out which one that is, because we want to rotate it so this is the bottom, we're going to right click and say show constraints, and then let's see if we can figure out which one of these is horizontal. And look at it, it's right there. So I guess if we delete that one, we might be able to rotate this up, rotate the seat around. Yeah. Not, it's kind of glitchy, but still there. And it still holds this point steady, which is interesting. But I think all we got to do is come right here and go like that. Wait, not needs to be, nope, horizontal, that line. And again, we're fully constrained because this is how it's going to sit in the vehicle. Your back is going to be here. The headrest is going to be going a little bit forward like that. And to test to make sure we did everything right, we can measure one angle, which we know to be 83 degrees, and you can see it's right there. So that means you did it right. Now this is going to be the border of the tubing of the rectangular tubing. So let's see here. Guess that's going to be where the border of it. The center of the tubing is right here. So let's see. All right, so this is kind of just maybe just reference lines for really what we want. So we'll make these construction lines for a moment. Make sure you save our work so far. This is the beginning of it. And I believe what we want to do is get in there and make some kind of offset. So let's look back over here at the seat and see how wide the seat is. Okay. So let's turn it sideways. Let's get rid of the side view. And I think it's going to be here. Oh, it looks like I'm still in edit mode. Then I can delete my section view. We want to know how wide this is so that we can basically put one beam here and the other beam there, I believe. Yeah, it's going to be kind of weird though because it's tilted around. Oh, that'll be fun. But we will cross that bridge later. Let's just get it to be around the bottom right here, first of all, and then we'll figure out how to do it that way. So looking at this piece right here, we can say right click, new sketch to figure out how big it is. And so we can say inspect, measure, and the entire width of this right here. appears to be 15.3. 15.3. Okay, so let's just try to break it up and say, let's just go 5 inches in from each side to see if that works. All right, let's first define a plane or make a plane visible on which we are sketching, which is this one right here. Nope. Are we sketching on this one? Oh, okay. We're sketching on the XY plane. All right, let's make that one visible. And we need to make two planes offset from it. And let's see, it's 15. So maybe I can go 6 away on each side. So let's make an offset, which we can change later. Let's make a plane offset from this one. And oh yeah, gotta say offset right here. And we're gonna make it offset from the green one, and we'll say just 6 inches off to one side. All right, so what do we do with that? What we want to do is project that shape onto this one. There's going to be another one over here, or we can just mirror this tube over on that side, which I think is probably a better approach. All right, so then let's just make a new sketch right here. And we need to project all of those little dotted lines from the midplane over here to where the rail will actually be under, say, the left thigh, right there. All right, so then we're going to project geometry. And we're going to do all of those. You can see it's now yellow. And what we want is an offset from there because the tube is not going to have its middle there. It's going to have its middle over this way. And so did it give me an offset? Oh, okay. I guess it's there. Yeah, I didn't tell it how far. So offset right here, and then 0.5. Let's hopefully it's on the plane to the right, and you can see that it is. So now it's time to kind of make a mirror of that, and then we'll put I guess our weldments to go through there. So let's make a mirror of this tubing over on the other side. So let's see, mirror, and we will take the sketch number 2, or we can just select the elements that we want to mirror. And the mirror line is actually a mirror plane. So maybe we'll just make the three-dimensional shape instead. Yeah, because I think it's trying to, yeah, I don't think it's trying to do what we want it to here. So let's just say cancel on that one. So next we will do is to save this. And the white part is the only thing we're really interested in. We'll take this working plane here and hide that. And then this other one was actually the XY plane, so we will hide that. All right, then save that. And remember that the way you do a weldment is you start an assembly. So you go File, New, make sure you're in English weldment right here. And you want to load in this seat support. So we want to go to Assembly and place that in. Did I get the right one? I think I need to do number 2, version 2, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see what it brings in. If I click, there's my weldment, and I only need one of those. And let's just put an example weldment in there to begin with, and then we'll get the right shape. So we'll say Insert Frame. We have to save the assembly first. So we can kind of give it the same kind of name. I think it said 94 dash seat support weld. So we're not actually welding just yet. We're actually just putting this together as a a series of tubes. Now this says round tubes, but really we want is a square tube like this. And let's see if we can find something in our list, which is 1 inch in size. I'm not really seeing anything right there. There's 1, 3. Yeah, that's not the right size. So those look to be too big, although they are rectangular. How about square tubing? That's 2 by 2. It'd be great. If we just were 1 by 1, we'd be great. Let's see if there's anything else under here. Getting closer. Yeah, that's like 1 1/4. Why would it won't go down to the size we actually have, right? Go to that one. And it looks like we might be getting it. Okay, here we go. Um, those are really thin right there. I think let's go with this last one right here, which may be the biggest one, and just see what it looks like. We're just trying to get the feel of it right now. So then we're going to say the weldment is going to go right there. And does that look too big? I don't think so. Then we can say okay, but it looks like there's an issue down here because I didn't see any kind of proper connection down there. Yeah, that does not look right. Because it needs to have the center going through there. This one was not the center going through it. So let's edit the weldment to see if that could work. Maybe just hit Control Z and go back to make sure it goes along that line. Because here it was midpoint, there it was edge. That's not the way it should work. Okay, here's how we do it. Go back to Insert Frame, 1 inch by 1 inch, and then make sure you select Merge Frame Members. And I was wrong. Actually, the white part is the one we need to center on. This is actually the edge that goes against the seat. So make sure you go click on the white. That's probably what I wasn't doing properly on those. There it is. Nice smooth tubing that will go underneath it. And you can see it's got these discontinuities, just like the seat has. Let's make a mirror image of that. So let's go over to probably 3D design, I would imagine. Okay, for the other side, I don't really see a way that we can do a mirror in an assembly. So we will have to go back to this original one and come up with a plane that is going to be far enough away from this one. Let's see. So how far away was it? We can say edit the dimension of that plane. It was 6 inches from the middle, right? So then what we can do is just go 6 inches on the other side. The plane that we were dealing with was this one. Make it visible again. Make an offset from there like this. Maybe get on the other side so it knows to pull it the other way. If we type 6, will it take us the right way? Looks like it went the wrong way. What if we do -6? There it is over in that direction. So that's the other plane that we're dealing with. Let's go ahead and hit the green check mark for that one. And we want to project that white surface or that white midpoint of the tube all the way over to here. And so the way to do that is to make a new sketch right here. And then just say, I want to project the geometry right here of this one, and those as well. Then I click finish like that, save reminder. Good idea to save, and then we can hide the work planes again. and save again. Let's go back over here to see if it rolled those things forward for us to see the two J's. And you can see it right over there. So then it looks like we can just continue with our weld bit and say insert frame. Make sure we click on this one, and make sure it's 1 inch by 1 inch. It just looks a little bit big. If we find out why it looks big, I guess we'll figure that out later. Okay, so that looks good. It says, do you sure you want to do all that? You say, yeah, it's going to add a bunch of these assembly elements over here. And looking at the seat, looks like you're kind of looking at the back of it for some reason, which is, I guess, okay. But what we could do is go like this and shift around a little bit like that. And then let's redefine the new home. So set current view as that view here. And then we'll call this, well, yeah, that is front. Okay. It's just that I felt like this should be the home position like that. Um, does look kind of weird though. Is that going to be the seat? Yeah, I guess that is it. All right, the next piece we need is a pipe going, or a tube, circular going along this groove on the bottom. That wasn't me again. Let's see. We said it was around 15 inches. So then we'll just put it like right underneath here so that it'll kind of lay up under there. We have this on our other one if you want to take a look at it as well. Okay, so let's just put for a circular tube underneath that part, we will put, and it needs to be a little bit back from that. So let's see, like this. And we need to make excuse me, a sketch on this plane in the middle. All right, let's see if we can pull that off. So let's see. Which plane do we want to draw on? I think we want to draw on that plane, but we want it to be halfway through. So let's see what we can do. Can we make an offset plane uh, from this surface? And we want to go down a little bit like this. We only want to go a half. Look at that. I moved it exactly a half. Okay, now what we want to do is draw a line from here to here to represent a circular tube. So we'll do that next. Right click like this. Okay, wait, are we already in a sketch? Right click. Am I in? Oh, I'm in the weld bit right now. No wonder. Okay, I need to be over here on this one. So we'll do that again. Let's see. That is the midpoint line. So it looks like we can just connect those lines right there. So let's make a plane. It's going to be going through the middle of that one and through the middle of this one. And then we will right click on that surface and say new sketch. We need to connect these two lines. Now, it really needs to go beyond. So it needs to kind of go out like this. And also, let's see if we get it to 90 degrees like that. Okay, and then we want to do a coincident with that little point right there. This one and that one. Oh, it's not letting me do it. Will it let me do with this one? No. Okay, so that means we need to project those onto this plane. Easy enough. Just go like this, project one, project the other, and maybe even project the origin. Is that what this is here? No, I think that's actually, that's the bottom of the seat, so it's a little bit different. Okay, now let's see if we can go back and do the coincident. It looks like it might already be coincident here. Oh, okay. All right, now it's coincident. Now it needs to have equal overhang across the whole thing, and it needs to be less than the, let's see, 15.35. So we'll just make it 15 so it fits snugly under there. We did not need this sketch plane after all. Where is that at? Oh, yeah. So we didn't need this one after all. Don't need to put a working plane. And what plane is this one here? Is that another one? Yeah, I don't think we needed that one. Oh, that's actually from this other sketch. Okay. So that's why it wasn't letting us do that. Dimensions on this one. Um, like this is going to be 15. And you see it's not really centered. So let's see what we can do to bring it into center. Really want this distance right there to equal that one over there. Hmm. Let's see. If we draw a line from here to there, so there, let's see, is that it? Nope. Oh, it's okay. And then go here and there. All right, I think we can line up those midpoints along this axis here. So let's see if we go to top, and then it looks like it says X is this way. Does that mean we pick this one? It does. Okay. So then if we want that one to be in line with this one, we got it. And finish. And hide the working plane. And save. And finally put our tube in there. So we don't really need a tube right there, but we do need one over here. So let's go back to insert frame. And now we need something which is circular and needs to be 1 inch in diameter. That's probably going to do it. And right there. And so that's going to fit snugly up underneath this part right here. See where that little groove is? It's going to fit under there just for support. And we're going to have to drill down through these things right here to this plate and go in order to go into these tubes. Okay, what else should we do here? We need to have some legs for it and also some cross supports like that. So we have a chance to decide what we want on those. It doesn't seem like we want a straight one here because it has a curved back there. So we will find a way to use grommets against here to go from a slanted surface to a flat surface. But everywhere here, all of these are going to be flat to flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And so maybe those can be the, you know, at least 3 of the 4 connection points that are required. And we'll put a bolt up here with a grommet as well. All right, so enough talk. Let's put something right in here. See where we want to do that. Looks like we want maybe a square tube like this and like that. And that might be good enough. Trying to put them on the angle would make it difficult to go up and down. So we will just go straight across here. And so in order to do that, let's go back to our sketch and realize that this needs to be a construction line. Hope this is not too abstract for everybody. And what we'll do now is, I think this is where our rear end is going to sit. So let's make that plane appear. Is it this one? No, this one. I think so. Yep. And so now let's just put some lines in there that are going to represent the square tubing. It's going from left from your left to your right. Um, let's project this one onto the surface and we'll measure away from it. So new sketch, project this line onto the surface you can measure away from it because we don't want it right on it. We want the edge to be there. So I think this one needs to be 1/2 inches from that edge. Now, I think this might be the other one. So just as a guess, we can say the other one is right here. But I don't know that I can measure back over this way. Oh, yeah, looks like I can. Okay, 0.5 like that. But if we say finish, let's see if that actually puts us in the right spot. I don't think so. It looks like it's hovering above where it should be at. So that doesn't look right.
Done.
Let's go down here. You can see actually, yeah, this is not the center of the square tube. It's too high. So that happens. So we'll have to come back and edit this one over here. So was the plane in the wrong spot? Yes, it was. Can we redefine the plane? Maybe. Let's see. Is it a... Oh, it's actually the XY plane. So that's not going to work. So let's just delete that last sketch right here. And then we need to have an offset from that one going down to this one. Or we just say, make a new plane. And let's put it right down here instead. Now, what other plane? Oh yeah, I need to hide that one. Let's try that sketch again. New sketch. And we're going to project our geometry. I think this is the one we want to project. And then a line here. Oh yeah, let's just project some more. Let's project some more. This one, this one. Not sure what the origin is doing over there. Okay, so we'll get that one and that one just to see what that's all about. I'm thinking that we go across like this and then 1/2 inch here. And then we go check to see if that makes sense. So saving that work, coming back over to our assembly and see if that new white line goes from the middle of the pipe to the middle of the pipe. And it does. So that means we could put a weldment on there in a second. And we didn't really want to go to there because that's just not a square pipe leading up. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Let's just insert the square tubing. And do we have to find it again? Is it the bottom one? And looks like I got lucky again. And it's going to be that one there. We want to make it merge with the frame members. And does that look good? Look at that. Nice and smooth. And make a nice weld in there. It's not on the slant, it's actually over here in the flat part. Let's put one more right here, put some legs on there, and then we'll be good. All right, let's go back over to our sketch and see if while we're on this one, edit sketch, if we could make it maybe a 1/2 inch from there, if that would be good enough. I'm not sure why there's an offset there, other than there possibly being a slant at that spot. Maybe I didn't make that horizontal. So this, okay, that's better. Then save so that those changes can roll forward over to our assembly. And we'll see how well that's going to hit the mark as far as um, where the tube is going to go. Add a frame element, make sure it's square, go right there. Click OK and admire the awesomeness, which is a nice weldment there. Actually, that looks really good. All right, the last two pieces are just need to be the last four pieces just need to be the legs of it, the legs of the um, seat that go onto the frame. So it's going to go down and touch their roll cage. So we'll do that next. And it looks like we'll just do the seat again like this. And I'm guessing that we need to have a plane that's along here and there. That would be my guess. So let's hide the plane that we've been working with and make a new plane that's going to be along this one, but also along this one as well. So you can see it's kind of right there. And we're just going to drop straight down and see if that allows us to um, make the tubing. It might. For now, we'll just go 7 inches down. I think that's going to be enough to have the drivetrain underneath the seat. So let's go right click, new sketch, new line, cinema, and we'll go straighten this up, get straight down. Now it doesn't look like it's necessarily locking on there. So we might have to hit escape and say, project our geometry on there, new sketch, project some geometry onto it, and then start right here. Hope that's going to be a good spot. And we are going to go 7 inches down. Do another one over here. Make those two equal to each other. Wonder why this one's not fully defined. Oh, I didn't lock it in. I think it needs to go there. And saving. Coming back over here. Should be able to see those lines. And let's just see how the placement of those lines relate to the weldments. Are we going to be on the slant in any way, on the incline? Let's find out. Taking a front view look and going in here, you can see that we did kind of miss the mark right there. So in order to fix that, we need to come in maybe, it looks like maybe half an inch, or strangely, let's see if we can down like that. It's almost like a quarter of an inch. Let's see if that'll fix it. So that means we need to go in a little bit here for those. So I guess we can just delete these. But maybe another way would be to right click on the sketch and say, show some of these. Am I editing the sketch yet? No. Okay. Edit the sketch. And let's just try some new things. And that would be to show some of the constraints and say, let's get rid of that one. So that way we can move it over. Looks like there's a coincident right there. So delete that one. Okay, now we can move it. Let's see about this one here. Delete that constraint so we can move it over. And then we can tie it back to that line, but make it 1/2 or a quarter inch from there. How beautiful is that? So without having to undo anything, we're going to say 0.25 just to see if that's close enough for what we need. And so from here to there. By doing that, it's going to hopefully remember these two lines as we go back to the assembly. Didn't look like it moved at all, though, did it? So let's hit save. And we do have it in further, but these don't look like they moved at all. So I'm gonna hit Control Z. Oh, oh, that's the right thing to do, I guess. Let's try to get rid of these weldments then. That would probably be the last two down here. That would be this one. So can we delete or edit that one? Yeah, I don't see the other line that goes over here for that one. Okay, let's see, can we delete it? I don't see where we can delete it. So I thought I was being clever. It does appear to be this one. Enable? Hmm. Well, let's assume that I didn't move far enough. That it needs to be half an inch. And it was probably just an illusion.
Yeah, it is.
Then hit save. Let's see if that rolls forward. Does that work? Look at that. I think we did pretty good on lining those up. See even the curvature of the metal there. So that just didn't move in far enough. Let's do this on the other side, which seems like we would use a mirror over here, but no, we have to do the mirror over somewhere else instead. That mirror would be way back over here. Once it gets through saving.
Okay. Uh, what material are we using? Is it stainless steel or?
All right, yeah, somebody was asking me what we're using. We're going to be using mild steel for these right here. Okay, so do I need to make the other side? I think. So let's right click here, hide that one, go back over here, and go back over on this side and make basically a mirror of that one. So let's do the following. Let's make a plane that's along here, but then also along there. And then once we do that, we right click on that, new sketch, and we just project um, this line and that line onto that other sketch over there. You can see the two yellow lines right there. Let's see if that was good enough for what we wanted to do. Save that. Come back over to the weldments. And you see those two yellow lines right there. And so we just finish up the insert frame. Boom, boom. And then we hit OK. That. And let's see how it looks. Does that look like a seat for a seat? Looks pretty good. So we can hide some of the things we don't need, like working planes and any kind of dimensions, like reference sketches. And it might be this one is the main one, but then we have a few others in there as well. You can see they're highlighted in blue. So let's try control click. And then visibility. That looks good. Hit save. All right. And then make sure this is the file that you upload right here. And then let me decide in a minute whether that's going to be the only file, because we might want to try to assemble this seat as well and upload that. So can we go over here to assemble and then place the seat also in there as a final, final step? So let's grab the seat there, open. You see it's in a weird position, but what we can do is right click, rotate around the Y axis to get it closer to what it should be looking like. Click. For some reason, I made it black. I can't remember why. I can change the material, of course, on that. Looks like it's galvanized steel. But it might be better to kind of do white on uh, gray on black or whatever those colors are. So let's see if we can put two planes together. And that would be, if we're trying to assemble this, we want to do a constraint in which we put, I believe it's, which one of these surfaces is the bottom? Is it that one? And then do we want it to be on top of this right here? Right there. Okay, it looks like it. Then we hit apply and we see what kind of motion we got. Say okay. Okay, so it must have been an overlapping somewhere. It didn't like what I did there somewhere. Yeah, it could not be resolved. I thought I was getting a close look at it. Yeah, it just went a little bit too far down. So I think it was trying to be on the inside of that tube rather than the surface of that tube. So let's hit on the second one. Let's say we want that instead. Will that do it? No. Okay. So let's hit cancel and try again. See, I like how this is going to be underneath the lip. That's pretty good. But it's just not quite high enough for some reason. So we will try that again with constraint. And we want this top surface to be on that bottom surface. And then when I click OK, seemed like it's all right. And then can I move it to the side? Sure. Too bad. But you can see I moved too far back. So I wonder if, yeah, can I move it a little bit forward off the back of that? Oh yeah, and the other thing we want to do is do a mid-plane alignment. So let's see if we can find that. So let's see, can I do the origin right here? And the middle of that one is called YZ. And then the middle of this other one that we have, also called YZ. But oh gosh, it doesn't look like it's the middle. I don't know why. Mhm. It should be the middle. That's the plane we've been working off of. Maybe it's up here instead. Yeah, it's that one. All right, so let's try to make constrain it to be this here and then go all the way down to this one and be that one. So it doesn't seem to like the orientation, so we're going to go like this and see if it's going to be okay. And that did not change anything. I thought that was going to align it, but nothing seemed to happen. That was supposed to go back over like this, and no constraint happened. Okay, I think I know what happened here. Let's hit Control Z until we just have the frame, because I was trying to force the seat in with the weldment for the support. So let's get the seat out of there. So go Control Z all the way back to there and just save it as that, like so. But now we need to make a new assembly. Let's try it that way instead. So new assembly, and we're going to place two of the objects in there. I think that was my mistake because we need to tell it that one of these objects is going to be at rest. And that's going to be our frame. So let's go down here and get the weldment right here. So we can insert an assembly into an assembly. And this is going to be the one, if I right click, I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as grounded at origin. And then I'm going to say place it as gro like that. And then looks like it wants that to be home for some reason. That'll be okay. And now we can place the chair in there. I don't think we're going to have these other problems we had because there were some drawing dependencies in that other one. All right. And then where's the seat? So we have like a sub-assembly. A sub-assembly is just the collection of all those little weldments. So that's a sub-assembly. And this is like over here, either a part or another sub-assembly. We can rotate it around the y-axis, and then we'll try to do the constraint again. You know what? I'm gonna try the planar approach first. So if we go and look at the origin here, and we just have the two objects. This is the mid plane, and no, didn't turn out to be the mid plane after all. That's not that's not cool. And then this one right here, yeah, I'm not sure why our mid plane is off. So I think we'll just have to eyeball that part of it then, unfortunately. Um, so let's say that we want them to be constrained like that, but then we'll just look at it straight on and figure out, well, where does it really need to be? And so we can put an offset in here, or can we just drag it? It doesn't look like it. So if we just put maybe 5 inches or -5 inches, uh, or -2.5, and I'll figure out the source of why we're at the have the offset. Like, where did that 3 inches right there come from? Yeah, we'll figure that out on an offline. I'll figure that part out. And then we're going to put, let's see, this one. Mhm. So, another constraint, we want this face to be right there. And then click OK. And is that going to be enough? I think we have one more degree of freedom to work with, and that's moving the seat forward and back. You can see I'm not quite all the way back, and I'm not all the way underneath that part right there. So let's see if I can move it forward like that. See, these are not going to mate against each other because they're not parallel planes. But it could be that these two would mate against each other. I will try that as our last step here. So constraint, and the question is, if we move this forward, are these angles good enough that that is going to be coplanar with that? Yeah, and I don't think I think it must have been a little bit off. So we'll just eyeball this one instead. So go to front view and then kind of move the seat back until it looks good. Make sure there's no overlapping metal there. Then make sure it's all tucked under there. Then hit home. And then let's rotate it around one time. And that is looking pretty good, folks. Now we can make any kind of other adjustments. Like if we don't want that to be as high, we can pull that down. Let's go back to the home position, go to this view right here, right click, save current view as home right there. Oh yeah, yeah, it looks like I just need to shorten up that plane right there because this went a little too high, but that's okay. As long as you get this close, folks, I am very happy with your progress here. Let's save this one as uh, seat and support because it's both of them in this case. An assembly file save as. And I'm going to save this with the 94 because it just helps with the sorting down to where these other things are. All right. Now, as far as I know, I'm not able to view this assembly unless you give me all the little pieces of it. But there is one way for me to be able to see it, and that is if you save it as a part file. So let's see if you can do that for me so that that's what you upload. So file, save as, and then save copy as. All right, let's see if it'll save it as a IPT file. I thought there was a way to do that. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to see your work. Let's try export, CAD format. That might be it. Yep. Let me pause the video and I'll figure out how to save that as assembly as a part file so I'll be able to read it. All right, so in order to save an assembly as a part file, there's a little bit of a process for it. Let's go through here and just clean up these other files. So we'll say, take that off of there, save it. It'll roll those changes forward to our weld seat support. We can close that and save any changes. And then we have this assembly, which is not perfect, but getting there. We will save it in the home position, close it out like this. So your final step will be to make a new part file and just pull in the assembly as follows. So new part file. That's the only kind of file that I can read when you put in D2L. Otherwise, I have to kind of figure out where all of your pieces are and put them together. So create. And then, I'm sorry, derive right here. And you see that I'm going to pull in this piece right here that had the seat and support in there. Yep. And so now I pulled an assembly into an IPT part file. Yeah. So now let's save that part file as something that I can read in D2L. All right, and it looks like it again redefined what it thought should be home. So this will be the assembly that we will eventually then pull into the roll cage assembly. It looks like I will get a little bit of gap right there, which is expected because of that angle. That'll be good to know as we move forward. The benefits of doing this in modeling software as opposed to trying to weld it right away. Right click, set current view as home, home, and save. This is what I want you to upload to D2L. All right. I will see you in the next video.
Right.